sides of the story, have the city's presentation about what the violation is, and then to hear from the appellant and then any members of the public. Write it up, send it to the director with a recommendation, and then it's up to the director to decide what the outcome is. And you will be notified by mail in short order. So there's no decision that's made tonight or today, this morning. It's the director will just make a decision later. When you come up, I ask that you state your name and spell it, because when I write it up for the director, I like to have the spelling right, just as a courtesy. There's a sign-in sheet there so that you can be notified if you'd like. And it's not a big calendar today, but we're going to take two items out of order to make, because they're very quick, and then we'll just go to the notice of violations. So with that, we'll start with item number 6. Order number 202-352. It's the transit shelters. It's just Who's here for the transit shelters for the city?
My name is Teresa Mielbar. I am the representative from Bureau of Street Use and Mapping and the plan checker for the transit shelters.
Okay, and can you spell your last name for me, please?
Yes, it's M as in Mary, U as in ukulele, E as in Edgar, H as in Harry, L as in lion, B as in boy, A as in apple, U as in ukulele, E as in Edgar, R as in Roger.
Thank God I asked. All right, and street use and mapping.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Teresa Mielbauer. I'm with Public Works Street Use and Mapping. Clear Channel Outdoor, in conjunction with the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, submitted 10 applications to install new transit shelters in various locations. A transit shelter is a structure for use by transit passengers of the SFMTA that may or may not display advertising. Public Works Order 177159 establishes regulations for issuing permits to install transit shelters and kiosks in the public right-of-way. Clear Channel and SFMTA are proposing to install transit shelters at the following locations: Potrero at 23rd, transit shelter application 18TS0007. Eastbound Lombard at Fillmore Street, which is application number 19TS00016. This one we are postponing so that we can talk with the public a little bit more and follow up on some inquiries.
Okay, so we're going to postponing the second one.
Yeah, Eastbound Lombard at Fillmore,
Okay.
which is application number 19TS00016.
Got it?
Lombard and Laguna Street, which is 19TS00017. Irving at 5th Avenue, 19TS00018. California and Cherry Street, 19TS00020. Westbound Lombard at Fillmore Street, 19TS00023. Middlefield at Lake Merced. This one we are also postponing. This is 19TS00024. Irving at 8th Avenue, 19TS00025. Hyde at Pine Street. This one we are also postponing. This is 19TS00027. And the final one for consideration is Connecticut at 25th Street, 19TS0031.
Okay.
And I have pictures of all the locations.
Okay. I've seen those. I don't need to.
You don't need to see them?
I don't need to see them
Okay.
again. I looked at the file.
Public Works has reviewed the applications per Departmental Order 177159 and determined that it complies with the guidelines set forth. Notification was sent and posted December 12, 2019. 2 letters of protest were received regarding the Hyde and Pine Street location. Both of those have been uploaded into the folder for your consideration. There were also several inquiries from the public regarding the Lombard locations, and the SFUSD made inquiries regarding Eastbound Lombard and Fillmore, and the Lake Merced and Middlefield location. As a result, the SFMTA and Clear Channel had decided to withdraw Eastbound Lombard and Fillmore, Middlefield and Lake Merced, and Hyde and Pine Street from consideration at today's hearing, and will submit for future reconsideration once Public Works hearings to the Public Works hearing officers once questions from the public and the SFUSD have been addressed. I'm here for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Appellants here, or the appellants, is there an appellant here? Anyone want to speak on this matter? Come on up, please. Which one are you opposing, ma'am?
My name is Fran Taylor, and I'm here to speak in support of the bus shelters, all of them in general, but specifically the one on Potrero in front of San Francisco General Hospital.
Okay.
Between 23rd and 22nd, that this is where patients wait for the bus,
Okay.
and there's currently no shelter. The old shelter is bricked up and boarded up, so people can't use the one that was there before the recent streetscape improvements on Potrero. This is inbound for the 9, the 9R, and the 33.
Okay, and this is specifically on the first one, Potrero and 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
In front of San Francisco General Hospital, where a lot of patients wait, and they're waiting there in the rain with their walkers, their crutches. They really need a place to sit. They need information about when the bus is coming. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no plan to have one on the opposite side, the outbound side. The sidewalk is very narrow there, but there's a tree there that takes up about 4 feet.
Okay,
And this is just for these specific.
This
Okay.
is just for these specific, but you
Right,
have,
but
you
as-
have someone here to
As
you can
a
speak to.
senior and somebody, who's been on crutches recently, I really appreciate the bus shelters and the information. I was a little curious about the objections to the ones at Hyde and Pine. That's near a rehab center, Tunnel, which I've been in after hip replacement surgery, and I'd really appreciate having, I think that's for the 27.
Yep, ma'am, I'm not competent to speak on that since it's been withdrawn, so.
So I'm upset that that's been postponed. I really do support the bus shelters in general, and in fact, as a member of Senior and Disability Action, we're conducting a campaign to increase the prevalence of bus shelters for older people and people with disabilities particularly. Thank you.
Great, thank you for coming down. Anyone else want to speak on this matter?
Patricia Voy, Marina, Calhoun, Neighbors and Merchants. I'm
Ma'am,
here,
excuse me, ma'am, can you spell your last name, please?
V as in Victory, A-U-G-H-E-Y. I'm here for 3 of them.
Okay.
And I think they've just been continued, but since I was already here, I thought I'd speak. 16, 17, and 23.
Okay, 17 has not been continued.
They stop at Lombard, Fillmore, Lombard at Laguna, Lombard at Fillmore. There are 3 of them.
Okay, so the only one I believe that's been continued, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is 00016, the transit shelter
Are you going to
at
continue?
Lombard and Fillmore. That's continued, is that correct?
I am happy to withdraw both 16, 17, and 23 to speak further with the public on this matter and make sure that their concerns are addressed. We just talked now, and we'll be in contact as soon as we're done with the hearing to make
Okay,
sure
so
that...
which additional ones are we withdrawing now?
So the total of the ones that are going to be withdrawn from today's hearing are 19 TS 00016, eastbound Lombard at Fillmore.
Right.
Lombard at Laguna.
17?
Yes, 17.
Okay,
23, which is westbound Lombard at Fillmore.
okay,
24 and 27. So
24 and
the ones
27.
that we are following up for consideration will be 7, 18, 20, 25, and 31.
okay.
And I will get this member of the public's contact so that Public Works, Clear Channel, and SFMTA can all be roped into the conversation and make sure that we get their concerns addressed accordingly.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Hi, Patricia Voy, Marina, Calhoun, Neighbors and Merchants. Lombard Street is a very interesting situation. First of all, we have Highway 101 in the middle of our commercial district. Number 2 is they have 17-foot lanes. The public, over 500 people on Lombard Street objected to the bulb outs. And the reason why is a 6-foot bulb out and a 10-foot bus, not counting the rearview mirrors, the likelihood of them going into the next lane during peak hours will probably happen. We also have another issue concerning that is that the SFMTA has in their plans for left-hand turns for buses during peak hours. So that takes the third lane away, going both directions. Our problem is that we already have backups going westbound into Van Ness now all the way to Filbert Street. If this happens, we will have it backed up to Broadway. On the other way, going west, it will be backed up to the bridge. So we've got some serious problems on Lombard Street to begin with. Now, I've got some papers for you from the SFMTA bus stop configurations that do not, these shelters as well as the bulb outs don't work. I have the arguments from the bus stop guidelines, Gold Coast Transit, and Bus Stop Transit Tri-Met. And I also have a synopsis of lawsuits and concerning this issue. This is a serious issue. My question is that why are we doing something that's going to back up traffic, and does the SFMTA want congestion pricing or something? There's got to be something behind this, because this is literally lack of common sense. The neighbors have fought it. They're going to continue to fight it until, if we have to go to court, we will. We have been trying and trying and trying and been stonewalled by the SFMTA. Another thing, too, the location at Laguna is right in front of a small business. The San Francisco Charter with the SFMTA says you must consider the impacts upon small businesses. You can barely see this restaurant without a shelter. So what are you going to do about the loss of income? The SFMTA has already caused Lombard Street, certain blocks of Lombard Street, a loss of 30% of their businesses with the Google buses. Now we have the bike racks, and now we have the transit shelters. We're not against shelters, but the problem is are we doing the right thing for the future? And how are we going to handle the backup? It's a very, very, very serious issue. We also have an issue on Lombard and Laguna of handicapped. We have a landlady who has objected, and it was not mentioned in this lady's speech, and took a letter of objection concerning it. The fact is that even with the bulb out, she can't get the trucks in to steam clean her house every month because she has severe allergies. She can't get workmen in. She cannot get anybody to put, she has a legal billboard on the side of that building. That's loss of income. You need to look at this issue very, very, very closely. Not against shelters, right place, right time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So just to be clear, the three that you're objecting to, 16, 17, and 23, is that correct?
Yes, they're in front of driveways.
Okay, 16, 17, and 23. Okay. And just so you know, those have been withdrawn, so we're not
Okay.
going to opine on those today.
I just wanted to make, since we were here, we might as well give
No, I
you-
understand.
Thank
And I
you.
appreciate that. Thank you for coming down. Anyone else to speak on the shelters?
Good morning. My name is Amtang Daosha. I am a director of equity strategies at the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. I'm here to speak in support of the bus shelter in front of the hospital at Potrero and 23rd. We serve the most vulnerable populations here in San Francisco, and oftentimes our patients rely on public transportation like the 9R and the 9 going into downtown for mobility and movement around the city. And I oftentimes see our patients trying to find seats on the sidewalk as they come out of the hospital. So this bus shelter will really help promote the wellness, really help them find out whether they need to come out right away or they can stay in the lobby. It would be really, really helpful for our patient population. It really in line with our equity strategies here for the city as a whole. So thank you for consideration.
Thank you. Director, can you spell your name for me, please?
On ANHTHANG, my last name is DAO-SHAH.
S-A?
SHAH.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else to speak on this?
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Iris Biblowitz. I'm a
Can you-
nurse and a senior, and I've relied on...
Nicholas, can you spell your last name, please?
This is a long one. Biblowitz.
B-I-B-L-I-W-O-T.
Lowitz. I am, also, I have disabilities from work as a nurse, and I have been dependent on Muni for over 40 years. I support all bus shelters and hope that we will build a lot more than the ones that listed here. The one that is an obvious one is the one in front of San Francisco General that was just spoken about at Potrero and 23rd Street. As you know, San Francisco General serves about 100,000 people a year, many with disabilities, very vulnerable, poor people who need to rest and who need bus shelters, who have a very hard time waiting for the bus without it. Next bus would also be extremely helpful. Also, so that is the number one priority. The bus shelter at Hyde Street and Pine, I'm very disappointed also to hear that that's been postponed. St. Francis Hospital is right by there, so there are a lot of disabled patients there waiting for the bus, the number 27, and also the Tennell Rehab is there. So that's another important bus shelter in the Tenderloin. The other one is Connecticut at 25th Street. The hills of Potrero are extremely hard to navigate. People have to sit and rest while they're waiting for the bus. There are a lot of families in public housing there. As we know the population of seniors is going to be something like 20% pretty soon. I'm one of the many. People with disabilities make up a significant percent of San Francisco, at least 10%. People who are homeless have many disabilities also. We really need these bus shelters critically, and Senior and Disability Action will be fighting for them. Thank you.
Great, thank you for coming down. Anyone else wish to speak on this? All right, hearing none, we'll close it, and we'll move on. I'll call item number 7 out of order, Eagle Plaza.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Eric Yu, E-R-I-C-Y-U.
Okay,
I'm an assistant engineer with the San Francisco Public Works Bureau of Street Use and Mapping. This is for commemorative plaque permit number 19 CP-00001. This is for the installation and maintenance of approximately 40 heart-shaped plaques along the south side of 12th Street between Harrison and Bernie Street within the Eagle Plaza project, which was approved under major encroachment permit number 17 ME-0008. The permit application was submitted by San Francisco Parks Alliance on August 19th, 2019. On September 9th, 2019, received Arts Commission approval through resolution number 0909-19-24. And on September 25th, received Board of Supervisors resolution number 392-19 to initiate the review of the proposal. The commemorative plaques have been reviewed by BSM along with the Disability Access Coordinator and found it to be in conformance with city standard and Public Works Code. The notices for public notice were sent out on December 24th, 2019. And as of yesterday, BSM did not receive any written comment either objecting or showing support of the proposed plaques. And then any questions, we have a representative with the Eagle Plaza project team.
thank you. Anyone here to speak on this matter? Eagle Plaza? Item number 7, any public comment? Okay, hearing none, thank you very much, we'll close it. All right, so now we'll go straight down the agenda. Item number 2, order number 202-341, to consider notice of violation 13365, violations for no street space permit at 819 Ellis Street. The city will speak first, and then the applicant, the appellant. Can you state your name and spell it for
Good
me?
morning, Jessica Salamy, S-A-L-A-M-Y. here from Public Works. I'll be speaking on behalf of all the NOV hearings.
Okay.
On Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, around 4 p.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding a debris box placed on Willow Street, which is the back frontage of 819 Ellis Street. Upon arrival, the inspector found a debris box in the right-of-way without a street space permit. The inspector then issued notice of violation 13365 for $1,000 per day to the property owner until a street space permit is obtained or the debris box is removed. On Wednesday, July 31st, a follow-up inspection was performed and the debris box was removed. The violation was closed with a final penalty of $1,000. These are the inspection photos from the initial inspection and the follow-up inspection.
Okay, so this is for the street space, not for the...
Correct.
Okay,
For the street space.
very good. Okay, is the appellant here? Can you state your name and spell, please?
My name's Kathleen McCann. My last name is MCCANN.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. When we received the violation, I called up the Redwood debris box, and I spoke to a gentleman named Diego. I told him that we had gotten the violation. He said to email them a copy, so I did that on that day. Never heard anything back from them. That was July 30th. Then on August 15th, I called them again, and I left them a message, never heard back from anyone. Then when we got a notice of the hearing back in September, I called and I was able to speak to a woman named Angelina. When we called about the box and asked the price, they say it's $750, then $100 for the permit. They don't specify, they just said for the permit. So when I spoke with Angelina, I explained the situation, and she said, well, the permit is for the box. If the city you're in requires a permit, you have to get one from them. So I said, well, we never did this before. How are we supposed to know that we needed a permit, especially when all you say you already paid $100 for a permit? And I asked her if she notifies clients that they should check into that. She said, no, we don't. And I thought, I mentioned, I said, I don't think that's very good business when you can't inform the customers what they might need to do. And she said that she told me she was trying to help me. I asked her how. All she was telling me is that I should have known. And then she said, I suggest you go to the hearing and appeal. We do it all the time. And
Are you the property owner, ma'am? Or are you representing the property owner? Are you the property owner?
no, I'm representing him. I'm the manager at the business.
Manager of the business? Do you have the invoice from the debris box company that shows that you paid a permit fee?
I don't. All I have is the delivery receipt from it. I don't have the receipt.
Did they provide you with an invoice?
Not that I'm aware of, because I would assume I'd have it.
Okay.
No, I don't have it.
I mean, so the director's going to ask for some evidence. Can I suggest that you call him back and ask him to fax you an invoice that breaks out the the
Sure,
different
I could
fees you
do that.
paid? And if you want to email that to me, I'll include that in my recommendations to the director. But without that, there's really nothing to I need something.
Right, I understand.
So the email address, do you have a pen?
I can get one, just a moment. I got one. Okay.
It's John, John, period, Goldberg, Goldberg, at sfdpw,
At SF,
sfdpw.org. And if you could get that to me?
As long as they respond to me, because they have a habit of not responding, but I will keep on it, and as soon as I get it, I will
And-
forward it to you.
Well, I mean, it's old. How did you pay them, check or credit card?
Check.
Okay, I was saying, credit card, it's probably too late, but you could reverse charges. I mean, you have to know what company you're dealing with. Okay, very good. Anything, are there any members of the public wish to speak on this matter? Great, thank you very much, thank you. Okay, item number 3, to consider the notice of violation 13367. The violation is for no street space permit and improper housekeeping at 12 Roush.
Again, Jessica Salome, Public Works. On Thursday, August 1st, 2019, around 3 p.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding a porta potty at 12 Roush Street. Upon arrival, the inspector found a graffitied porta potty screwed to a tree with an expired street space permit. Correction notice 13367 was issued to Oricon Incorporated to remove the graffiti, remove the screw from the tree, and obtain a street space permit, and to relocate the porta potty from the sidewalk along San Francisco Public Works to perform a sidewalk repair. On Friday, August 2nd, around 3:30 p.m., the inspector performed a follow-up inspection and found the screw had been removed from the tree, but the other issues were not addressed. Notice of violation 13367 was then issued for improper housekeeping, no street space permit at $2,000 per day. An inspection on Tuesday, August 6th showed the porta potty was removed away from the sidewalk repair area. However, a renewal street space permit was not obtained nor the graffiti removed. A final inspection on Thursday, August 8th showed the porta potty was removed from the public right-of-way and the violation was closed with a final penalty of $2,000. These are the initial inspection photos. These are the inspection photos from the 2nd, the 6th, and the final inspection photos from the 8th.
Thank you. Is the appellant here? Is anyone here from the public that wishes to speak on this matter? All right. Hearing none, we'll close this matter and move on to the next one. Item number 4, to consider notice violation 13446. The violation is for no street space permit at 3657 Terraville Street.
Jessica Salome, Public Works again. On Tuesday, July 30th, around 2 p.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding the construction activity at 3657 Terraville Street. Upon arrival, the inspector found a porta potty occupying the right-of-way without a street space permit. The inspector then issued notice of violation 13446 for $1,000 per day to the property owner until a street space permit is obtained and the porta potty is removed from the right-of-way. Street space renewal permit number M1123207 was obtained on August 13th, 2019. Follow-up inspection on August 15th shows no parking tow-away signs were posted on site. The violation was closed out as of August 13th with a final penalty of $14,000.
Okay.
These are the initial photos. Inspection photos from the 13th again, and then from the 15th.
Very good, thank you. Is anyone here to speak on this matter?
My name is May Fody. I'm the project manager for the owner of Daniel Hoshiyama.
Okay.
Representing, I have a power attorney from him as well.
Okay.
And we have the porta potty there, and I could have some picture because when we get the green tag at 2019, and we've been calling PG&E to disconnect the power from the main house. So I obtained Aaron Electric, which is Jim here, and he could explain it to you what we have gone through to remove that porta potty.
Hi, my name is Jim Hillstrom. I was the electrical contractor for this project. And
Can you spell your last name? Hillstrom, Hillstrom?
yes, just like Nordstrom, Hillstrom. And it wasn't so much the fact that it was the porta potty, the electric PG&E service is connected to this as well. I put the service in. We had scheduled PG&E. I called PG&E earlier to kind of facilitate this so they could hook it up. In the meantime, we put the service in. PG&E showed up the day I finished this and said that they were there to hook it up. I said, you cannot hook it up unless we have a green tag from the city. They said, okay. So they said, well, I'm here. I'll hook up the house wiring from the house to the pole, not from the pole to the house. It wouldn't be energized. Then get a green tag and call. Well, the next day, Albert Leon came out, gave me the green tag. I called PG&E. Ever since then, I just started getting these emails. They can't make it. They changed reps on this thing. I think they had 5 different reps on this. This was also during the time there was a fire up there. So I think that they had problems with their staff, with scheduling people that would okay this to come back out. But the essence of the whole thing is that it was for just a potty, we would have just called and got rid of it. That was the thing, but it had the electric to the house. There's somebody living there. So I had to keep the power on and ultimately keep the porta potty there because this was rented with the bathroom and the PG&E as to integrate it together.
Okay, and all that's true, I'll assume that's true, but it doesn't address the issue that there's no street space permit, or that it expired. So how do we mesh those two together?
We hasn't been working there for a long, long time. We never used a parking space, and we continue. Every time I got a notice of violation, and the tenant will call, and right away, within several days, I will get the permit. But sometimes, the last time, I did not get a permit because I was overseas. So I cannot, I'm the only contact that they have. And so I delayed it. As soon as I come back from overseas, I obtain a permit. But then at that time, it's past the due date.
Okay, well, I guess it just speaks to the importance of having a responsible person that's available. But, okay. Anything else that you want to? Okay, very good.
I also have called PG&E as well to explain it to them why we have the porta potty, because the ground wire directly connected to them. And then I call them to remove it once we get the green tag, and they
3 or 4 months.
at least 3 or 4 months out. And we stopped the construction long ago, and we kept asking them to remove it. And
Once I got the green tag.
yeah, once when I get the green tag, and since April.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this matter? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next one. Order number 5, or item number 5, order number 202344. Consider notice of violation 12280 and 12279. Violation 12280 is for improper housekeeping and improper site protection at 4th and Brandon Street. Violation 12279 is for improper housekeeping and improper site protection and inadequate signposting at 4th Street and Bryant Street.
Jessica Salami, Public Works again. On Thursday, March 14th, around 5 p.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding pavement defects along the 4th Street and Bryant and 4th and Brandon intersections. Upon arrival, the inspector found potholes, loose gravel at both locations. The inspector also found handwritten no parking signs at the 4th and Bryant Street location. As Tudor Perini has last been notified on March 12, 2019 of previous incidents along the 4th Street corridor by Public Works Inspection Supervisor regarding the need to continue to monitor and maintain the job site in a safe and clean manner, the inspector then issued notice of violation for both locations. Notice of violation number 12279 at the 4th and Bryant Street intersection was issued for failing to sweep the site at the end of the day, improper site protection, and improper sign posting at $1,000 each, totaling $3,000 per day. Notice of violation 12280 at the 4th and Brandon Street intersection was issued for failing to sweep the site at the end of the day and improper site protection at $1,000 each, totaling $2,000 per day. On Monday, March 18th, representatives from Tutor Perini and Public Works Inspection Supervisor met to discuss the site conditions. It was determined that the above violations were related to the Tutor Perini project, except for an instance of a metal plate at 4th and Brandon Street. Per a follow-up site walk with Public Works Inspection Supervisor and senior inspectors on Wednesday, March 20th, NOV number 12279 at the intersection of 4th Street and Brandon Street was closed out with a 4-day penalty for improper housekeeping, a 6-day penalty for improper site protection, and a 1-day penalty for improper sign posting for a total of $11,000. NOV number 12280 at the intersection of 4th Street and Brandon Street was closed out with a 4-day penalty for improper housekeeping and a 6-day penalty for improper site protection for a total of $10,000. These are the appeal letters from Tutor Perini, the notices of violations, and the site conditions
Okay,
upon the
what's
initial
the issue
inspection.
with the sign posting?
So, per Public Works order, I forgot what the order number is now, but under Article 15, Section 725, the handwritten signs are no longer allowed. All signs must be printed per Public Works formats. The site conditions, you can see here along the edges that all the roadway within the handicap ramps are all raised and sunken. You got depressions, unpaved trenches, loose gravel everywhere, dips, potholes. This is the 4th and Brandon intersection. And this is another follow-up from the 15th. As you can see, nothing's been done. And this is the inspection on the 20th, where you can see that they attempted to make some patches and they've cleaned up the area. These are the invoices. I also have email communications from Jonathan Vang to Tutor Perini and SFMTA.
Read that. Okay, thank you. All right. Is the appellant here?
Good morning. My name is Gary Elginson, spelled E-L-G-E-N-S-O-N. I'm the senior engineer responsible for the work on the 4th Street corridor. TPC, Tutor Perini, has been working there. We've had a contract with SFMTA for contract CN 1300 since 2013. We started the work in January 2014 on 4th Street. This violation, 12279, it's correctly what was stated by the DPW representative here is correct. We've received that the violation stating the improper housekeeping, improper site protection, and inadequate sign protection. However, I don't think the circumstances, which I've been here before, the problem that TPC has had is there's a conflict between SFMTA's plans and the requirements of the Department of Parking and Transportation. So TPC has done a lot of work on 4th Street for years now. We're trying to get it finally finished, and to everybody's relief. The problem was the plans don't allow us to move in, don't give us any opportunity to get into the intersections in an orderly manner. We did start work at 4th and Bryant in August. However, that work was sidewalk, curb, and gutter. The work inside the intersection had to be approved by Department of Parking and Transportation. We had numerous traffic control plans that were rejected. We run them through the processes that we submit these traffic control plans from our traffic engineer. They go to SFMTA for their approval, and then they are then sent into the, for final approval by the Department of Parking and Transportation. We were not able to continue on, so when from August, which is in this nice part of the summer, till March of 2019, there was we went through the winter and not being able to do the work. It wasn't as if we didn't want to finish the work, but we weren't able to get it permits. And that has been a problem that we've had. And as far as accountability, I don't think it's fair for Tudor Perini Corporation to be held accountable when DPW has like superior knowledge that temporary paving or any work along the gutter line there is going to fail. And if we can't get a permit to do the work, then I don't know why TPC is being asked to pay the fines for the improper housekeeping. We are typically proactive in trying to make sure the area is safe. We have, we know the rules. We've worked in the city before, and we've been on this project for a long time. Again, the work started in that area on August 23rd, 2018. Didn't get a permit until this action, this violation prompted SFMTA to be able to meet with the Department of Parking, and there was a series of meetings at high level that allowed us to get through the intersection and finalize the work. That included both track work and paving.
Okay.
The signage issue is a result of some other, there's an issue with DPW not allowing or renewing our excavation permit to work in the streets. And that was some disconnect between DPW and SFMTA. And it finally was resolved, but we actually had to work in the intersection with no excavation, real formal excavation permit that was advocated by SFMTA, allowing us to do that work. And the only way we could properly notify the public was by handwriting the signs, which was a previous procedure. It was allowable during the initial contract period of time when we would bid the job. That was the process. So we didn't change anything. The process changed. We were not able to print.
Okay.
We were not able to print those.
Okay.
However, we notified the public.
All right.
So,
I mean, I understand it's a big project and there's a lot of coordination required, but that's what the project manager's for. Can we put up the pictures for a second? Just have you.
The initials?
Yeah, the 314.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I understand if you said that you don't have a permit for the street or the intersection, but, this curb and gutter, and the follow-up pictures, you can see that the depressions there and the trip hazards. I mean, why was that not filled with AC?
They were filled with AC, but it was a temporary AC, which is typical, which is used, and there's couple of different types. And we used it, but this photo here, which there was another photo, which showed the beautiful blue sky.
But if you look at the photo in the upper left-hand corner, you can see that the markings for the construction of there, so that wasn't filled. It doesn't appear to me to be filled with AC, because those white markings, spray paint markings, wouldn't be there.
I think the photo represents a sunny day, but this is post. If you look at the date, March and February of last year, we had a lot of rain.
Okay.
And during that period of time, we couldn't, one, work safely in the intersection, and two, we had no permits. So when we were notified, we responded as promptly as we could. We were
All right, let me ask you some more questions.
Okay.
So the bottom left-hand corner picture, you see the gravel along the curb line. So what would have prevented you from cleaning that?
I'm not even sure.
He's referring to
The debris in the curb line along the curb? So, I mean, a sweeper or something could have, I'm not talking about the street, and I understand the issue, and you can see where it appears that AC was filled in this corner here that would, smooth out the depression, so I get that. But all that gravel along the curb, I mean, that appears to me to be the housekeeping violation that the citation's for. So why was that not addressed, or why could that not be addressed?
That was swept. That gravel is basically was asphalt that was washed off from the heavy rain and the traffic, and that's the debris from the patching. It looks like in the center of there's a white section of concrete down below that looks like that was patched.
Correct.
So there was loose material. So if nothing else, it was swept. Did we sweep it as soon as the rain was over? I can't tell you that's the truth or not, whether we did or not. However, we've done our best on 4th Street to be compliant in every way. I've been involved from day one. If I'm asking that you consider dismissal of these fees of $11,000, if nothing else, at least minimize them, because we've been paying, there's a conflict, as I explained. And I think that with accountability, we should have some, yet the city should have some as well. And I mean, typically we start these contracts trying to be partners with the city, and it's difficult sometimes with the change in personnel with the city people. We just feel like we're somewhat victimized by this, and we're very aware of what we need to do this winter. We have had no other fines since then, so I'm just asking that you accept that, at least with some, waiver or something, reducing the fees.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to the last item, item number 8. Order number 202-408, consider a notice of violation 12661. The violation is for no street space permit and improper housekeeping at Church Street between DuBose Avenue and 14th Street.
Jessica Salami, Public Works again. On Friday, November 22nd, around 9 a.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding a large container in the parking lane without a permit on Church Street between DuBose Avenue and 14th Street. Upon arrival, the inspector found a storage container without a street space permit and covered in graffiti. The inspector then notified Mobile Modular to have their client obtain a permit and remove the graffiti. On December 3rd, 2019, around 12:30, the inspector performed a follow-up inspection. The issues were not addressed. The inspector then issued notice of violation 12661 to Gyron Construction for improper housekeeping and no street space permit at $2,000 per day. Final inspection was performed on December 9th, showed the porta potty, the debris, the container was removed, and the violation was closed with a final penalty of $2,000. So here's the initial photo of the mobile mini, and you can see in the emails that there was email correspondence between Mario and Owen O'Sullivan and Bruce Gyron and a few other people on it as well. And the violation was written on the 3rd and closed out on the 4th. Here's the follow-up on the 3rd from the inspection photos again. Email notification again. And then the final inspection photos on the 9th.
The appellant here to speak? Sure.
Yes, sir. My name is Bruce Giron, and I'm the owner of Giron Construction. This has been our This is our first project with SFMTA. We're a small micro LBE here in San Francisco. This project, as any first time, was a difficult one. There's been lots of delays on it, and it's run past the original completion date. However, we were very, very close to finishing up the job. Throughout this, we've been victimized by the same chronic problems that many other construction sites have had here in San Francisco with the graffiti, that sort of damage. And I think that we've been relatively responsive in going out and taking care of these things when we were told about them. On this latest one, notice of violation, it came very late in the game during, I guess, close to the Thanksgiving holidays. We were actually trying to complete the project before the moratorium was in effect, and we're very close to that. There was a lot of coordination that was required because we were working on very, very sensitive electronic train control gear, and had to be done in off hours. And there were maintenance windows that we would apply for, and until you were actually able to execute that window, it could be canceled, and numerous times it was canceled, and which caused us to reschedule, and many times those reschedules were not immediately, it was the next available maintenance window. And so we got caught up, a combination of a lot of different events in the company, and things that we could control and things that we couldn't control, where we lost awareness of the permit. We were trying to, when we finally noticed that we were not going to complete this within the permit time, I think that's when we went into action to try to have this thing removed. And that in and of itself was a challenge, because the schedule, we were not able to get someone to come out immediately to remove the debris box. And the available date was out several weeks, and so we went into Plan B, which was to go to an independent contractor to try to add extra costs to come in and move the debris box. We got the notice of violation on the 3rd, and we almost made it. We got it out on the next day, on the 4th.
Did you want to speak also, sir?
My name's Hyven Ha, Haivinh, last name H.A. I'm part owner of McKee & Company Electric. That was our Connex out there. So Bruce was informing you guys that the project has ran over the project date. We were thinking about being done with this project, honestly, in August. So SFMTA has been scheduling us to go out there, and I had equipment in there. Every time they scheduled us to go out there, it was either rain delay, voltage leakage from gear that prevented me from working, and I couldn't get a response from them for when I was going to be able to go back out there to work until probably, we have meetings on Tuesday on the project, and I wouldn't get a response maybe till Friday. So it was really contingent, and I couldn't move those things out because, like you said, those were off hours that we were able to go out there and work. It wasn't midday.
So I understand project delays, and that's understandable. But I guess the issue that the director's going to have is not that the project was delayed and extended, but according to the paperwork, there was never any permit for that. Is that correct?
No.
Was there a permit that just expired?
There was a permit at that location from the initial permit
For the street
a
space.
1-month period.
From when to when?
I can pull it up and send it to you.
So do you know when, because the paperwork here says there was not a permit for the location. So do we know when the permit was?
Do you know the permit date?
No, I don't know that off the top of my head, but
Okay.
it was definitely a permit.
Okay, so if there's a permit, it'll make a difference if there's.
I'll pull the
So if you'll pull that and send that to me.
Well, also, like, we go to weekly meetings for this project at 1 Van Ness, and that didn't get brought up. Like, as far as I know, like, we had a permit
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
otherwise, every week I go in there, they're gonna be like, hey, where's your permit? Hey, I need to move the bus.
No, I understand. I mean, the city's kind of siloed. Everyone has their own little
Agendas.
agendas and issues that they're concerned about. So I get that. So if there's a permit, I mean, that'll make a difference for the director's decision as opposed to, if we allowed it to expire, as opposed to simply not getting one. So Jessica will pull it up and send it to me, and so we'll look at the dates and things like that. and we'll include-
I'm pretty sure there was, because I know that they sent a notice of housekeeping one time over, and we addressed that, because I was in the middle of the project. It was in July, and I knew I was gonna be out there for another month.
Yeah,
So
so
I
if-
went out there and addressed that.
So what they'll try to do is send correction notices as opposed to violations. So let's see what the permit says, and then we'll go from there. We'll make the recommendation to
Okay,
the.
thank you.
I mean, if you've got a copy of the permit, do you have my email address also? John, John, period, Goldberg, Goldberg, BERG, at sfdpw.org. So between you and Jessica, we'll get the permits sent over, and we'll include that in the recommendations to the director, and then the director will make the decision about how to proceed.
One more thing, John. I also have a message correspondence with Owen O'Sullivan. He's a project manager for Gyron. And it was on November 21st when I asked him to get the container out of there. And he said that he was in a meeting. I've asked McKee to get the container out of there. It was already supposed to be done already. I got your voicemail about it last night and sent them a letter about it. And my response to him was, it needs to go ASAP or we'll get a violation.
All right, so let's get the permit, and we'll go from there, and thank you for coming down. Anyone want to speak on this matter? Anyone here to speak on this? Anyone? No one left? Very good. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
John. I apologize, I didn't realize that the transit shelters were such an issue. I thought that was the gavel's down. I couldn't believe it when they all got up to speak on that.